Hello, and we're back. I thought I would do a little bit with this. I was playing with the physics, and one thing I found really worked really well for a little sliding issue here is I gave these things a fixed joint, the brake force of 4,000, and gave this guy a rigid body and just connected everything to him, and it works pretty good. So now I can make a larger base and things aren't falling all over the place. Well, I still suck at making these things, but hey, who's judging? Okay, now those are high. I might have to move those down, but as you see, they are not sliding. They're in the air. I haven't connected them. So that is a really good, I find a really cool method to make that kind of work. Because you can do a lot of different things with that, right? So I think one of the other things I want to do is these cubes, all these cubes. Oh, and if just so you guys can see, I'll do one of these from scratch. So that cube there, let's get rid of his fixed joint. Let's see, let's stick this guy, let's stick him out like a little bridge right there. So if I just hit play, I mean, he's just gonna fall, right? Ba-doop. Pretty simple. But if I go fixed joint and say, okay, we need a rigid body to connect to. Well, I already know we have this guy here. I should rename him. So I can take this guy here and say, all right, well, you can stick to the ground. And I don't want the infinity brake force, or else we won't be able to break it. And the whole point of it, you see it's not falling now, is that we want to be able to break these things when we shoot them. And I was playing around with a few numbers, and I found 4,000 works pretty good. As you see, it's sitting there, and it's holding. It's not sliding. It's not doing anything stupid. And if I say select an ammo now, and let's get this guy to pull a little farther, and we launch him. That was a horrendous shot. Oh yeah, so one of the other things I thought would probably be a good thing if we're going to have this higher brake force to hold this is I went over to our bullet and I tripled its mass. I took it to 15. I haven't done these ones yet. I'll do those ones as well. But because of the higher mass, as you can see, like I pulled it pretty far and this thing didn't shoot very far. So the other thing we would need to do is in our, okay, I'll come out of play mode for this so it actually stays, is we're getting a pull distance and then it does all its calculations and it remaps everything into a force and a vector and it adds it, right? So if I tripled the weight of our bullet, I'm going to triple the output of our force just by taking that from 250 to 750. So now I take this polar, so I'm going to go back a little farther and I'll do our little fake trigger, and I forgot to select an ammo. Select an ammo. Now we select the trigger and he fires. And as you see, he came in and he hit it. He didn't do a whole whack of damage. Did a little bit. shoot this one more like a bullet. Might have to up the weight a little more. So that wasn't bad. I mean, it works pretty good. I mean, you probably go up with weight on those a little bit. And they'd be a little more destructive. And maybe that's what I'll do. So the mass was 15. I'm going to go to 20. And then because I took that up, I'm going to take this one and go to 1000. So now, the other option is you could take that force, of braking force, down too, right? Like I've got it at 4,000. I found at 2,000 it just falls apart. But you know, 3,000 or so would probably be fine. So let's launch that, and we'll, you know, completely miss. So let's just launch it again. And we still kind of miss because apparently we're just not good at this. Let's get some altitude, but not quite as far. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this guy and copy him. Now, if I screw up, I know where to adjust it. Okay. So let's just, now I can copy him, paste the values, or the same thing, and let's go up a little bit and in a little bit. And I forgot to copy the values again, so I'll paste them again and go up a fair bit. This time I'll actually copy them. Not too bad. Alright, so I think what we'll do, we'll take our enemy base blocks. Maybe we'll go down to 30. We'll try 3,000. We'll see if it holds. I wonder if I should just do one at a time here. Now, with that said, I mean, on the bullet hitting, we can do special things as well, which we'll do with those other bullets. So, I mean, might not be that big of a deal. Yeah, so I mean, it's holding fine at 3,000, right? So, select an ammo and fire. Broke his thing. We didn't break that one. Okay. So I'm going to just drop those down a little farther. No. No, I think going up in the bullet. Actually, I'm going to double this guy. I'm going to go 40. Let's make the bullet heavy. So with that, shrink these down so I don't got a cluster. Let's go this guy and shot and remap him to 2,000. Now let's try that. Select our bullet, go back and release, and totally skim off the top. Alright. That's a little better. Now, if you want these to have physics, well, there's things we could do there, but not going to worry about that right now. So anyway, so there's a little better on the base end of things. Bullet-wise, so we have a bullet. Okay, so we don't really need this proportion anymore. So I'm going to get rid of the freeze. I'll do it on these ones too. Since turn on the game manager. And so that whole FSM we really don't need. Let's get rid of him. We'll keep the obviously the level winning. That's a good thing. So we have bullet, and it doesn't really do anything. It just comes in and hits things. And we have this expander. So the expander should probably do something, right? You would think. Hence its name. So on the expander, what if, I should probably go into the prefab so I'm not screwing around with this thing. Right, because it's just doing this thing, right? So what if we add another FSM and we'll call this one expand. So let's do a system event, collision enter, and scale. We're going to set the scale every frame to a new variable called new scale. So new scale is value of 1, and we're going to float interpolate. We can do ease in and ease out. Now we'll just do linear. So we're going from 1, and let's go to a scale of, like, I don't know, say 6 in a matter of, I don't know, 0.7 seconds. We'll store that as new scale. Just like that. It's literally all he has to do. So, to see how that works, let's hit play. And let's select our expander. Adjust those texts. So we shoot. Alright, so it works, but we need to adjust it. So expander. And I'm going to move that from here so it's not a global anymore. And I'm just going to put it in this guy, so it's just going to fire the once. So we don't care about the tag, we don't care about the force, but we're going to say has hit. And we're just going to go over here and delete this guy. So now if we expander and fire, he hits and he expands. Might want to give him after X amount of time he destroys himself or something. Well, actually, no, he should destroy him. I thought these things destroy themselves anyways. Let's see. No, that's for if they hit the enemy. Okay, so let's put a timer on these things. We'll put it on all 3 of them. Call it a death timer, and all we're going to do is do a wait. I don't know, say 15 seconds. Finish here and destroy the self. Perfect. I'm just going to copy a death timer and stick them on the expander. Paint as new, homing missile as new. So the homing missile one is a little different, right? So what we have is he needs an FSM for homing. And all he's going to do is he's going to have a small weight, not too long, say, well, yeah, we'll say 1 second. 1 second's probably good. So he's going to shoot like he's normal, and then after 1 second, he's going to find game object. No. Find closest game object. There's different ways we could do this one too. With bad guy, and we're going to store the object as bad guy, and then we are going to smooth look at bad guy. Don't need that vertical. And let's give him a speed of, I don't know, 8. Or, you know, we can make this. So we could do that. So he's looking on finish. So he looks at a target, and then we set velocity on this thing, on its Z self, and we'll say 30. Now, there's a couple different ways we could do this. We could have it slowly arc and kind of slowly follow, or we can fire him up and then he's going to try to spin and look at it and then shoot towards it. Right, so for example, let's fire this one kind of high. So he fires, and we don't know what he's doing. He found a bad guy. He needs to look at it much faster. Much faster. So let's just crank that up. We don't need debug. A little more of that. Okay, let's see if that guy fires well. Okay, let's see. Oh, we fired an expander. Whoops. So he set velocity Z. So he looked at. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to alter this guy. Yes, we are. So he finds the closest bad guy. And let's let's get rid of the smooth look at. Let's get positions. So we need the bad guy position, and that's going to be bad guy position space world. We're going to get our position space world, and we're going to do a vector 3 operator, and we're going to take the bad guy position, subtract our position. I'm sure you have subtract. We're going to get a new vector called direction, and we're going to we'll let it do that, and then we're going to multiply vector 3 multiply. The direction by 30. And we're going to set vector to the direction space world. Wonder if I should almost put a small pause in that. So there's homing, and let's fire him off. Oh my god, he fired fast. That was super quick. He was deadly. He was a frickin' torpedo and a half, eh? Let's take that down. Let's go way less than that. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but no, maybe that's what you want. I don't know. Let's fire him up. Okay, so let's. Oh my god, he's already. Seconds already passed. But yeah, he went straight for him, eh? But yeah, that velocity is a little excessive. Let's just go 3 maybe. Maybe we don't even need to set that multiplier. Right, so let's pull. Oh, I didn't do the stupid homing. So pull, and we're going to fire, and I'll pause. Let's see what he does. So he's coming up. He's got this nice arc, and then he did that crazy thing. It's still a little fast, right? So maybe we will cut him down. Let's give this a, I don't know, maybe a 1.5 second. So he's going to get all this. Let's not even multiply it. Could almost make a nice little particle during that crossover, like some jet engine or something kicking on, and this thing's rocketing over. But yeah, okay, that's kind of works. So the other option is we could try to just apply force to it and have it trying to rotate slowly, kind of towards it. That's another option too. But I think for now, I think I'll leave it the way it is. So there's those. What are we doing for time? Yeah, there's some time left. Okay, so we have score, and now we have these. What about on can find it. Here we go. So we have these three guys. Now what if we go to our 2D and we want to say add a text. The text is going to be, say, next to it. Now we'll probably give it, I don't know, maybe some green. Best fit, put it in the middle. I'm going to take both of these and slide them over so we can see that. And I'm going to take this text, we're going to call it mount. I think this one, I don't know if we have a infinity symbol. So we'll just throw in something like that. And I'm just going to duplicate him and stick one there, and duplicate him and stick one there. And I'm going to copy that component, go over here, and paste. Okay, so I'm going to give him a little more space, bring his space down a bit. So now game manager, let's have ammo. So we have three variables. We have the normal, homing, and expander. Okay. We also need integers. We'll just call it normal, homing, expander. And we need a event to update text. Make that global, stick them here, and all we're going to do is UI set text, set text. So we want normal ammo to be the converted normal. Copy, paste, and paste, because we have two others. We want the homing ammo to be converted homing. And of course we want the expander ammo to be the converted expander. And we want this to also happen right in the start, so we're just going to link that over there. So on this guy, I am actually going to make this the start state, so that we start with normal ammo. And if we want this ammo, if we want the homing ammo, we need to get FSM int. Oh my god, just clicking away all crazy. So we need to get the FSM int on the game manager of ammo, FSM, and we need the homing. And then we need to bool test, or sorry, int compare. And if homing ammo is equal, then we have none. Or, no, okay. have none, just go back, or okay, go this way. And copy that and paste that and do the same thing for the exploder. But obviously we aren't going to be checking the homing or the expander, sorry. Might as well just keep those variables the same, that's not a big deal. Okay, so now when we shoot, which is in this guy, so we have shot. So we need to get this, find out which one it is, and subtract from there. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish this so that we're not screwing around on that one. I mean, I can add all you want there. I'm just organizational wise, right? Like this is our type of idea, and this will be our kind of idea. I mean, they're happening at the same time. We're just separating it so it looks pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to get name of the using ammo stored here, which will give us a string, and then we can string switch type. We have 3 switches. We have bullet. We have expander. And we have homing missile. Right, so I'm just using like these actual names here. Okay, so now we have normal and expander and homing. And we possibly will have to trim that string. So if it's normal, I guess we really aren't going to do anything. We're going to have infinite ammo with normal, I guess. Or you don't have to. You can add ammo for that. If it's expander, we need to get FSM int. Actually, you know what? Probably an easier way of doing this. I was going to get the int, subtract the int, set the int, right? And I believe in ecosystem we have FSM int subtract, if I remember right. Let's see if we have it, because wouldn't that just be great? And what do you think? Are we going to find it? I think we'll find it, but subtract FSM int right there. Let's grab that one. That'll do just fine. So, I'm going to compile FSM int subtract. And all we're going to do is we're going to subtract from this guy, from the ammo FSM, this one's the homing, that's the expander. The expander. Now we're going to subtract 1. I'm just going to copy that and bring it down here and paste and change this one to the homing. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give us some ammo. So let's give us, I don't know, 3 of those and 2 of those and 99 of those. So now we have that reading properly, and without selecting one now, I'm actually just going to fire this, make sure that fires. So there goes 1, and it did its job. So We also need to tell this thing to update on that shot. But let's make sure yeah, so there's bullet, there it goes. Okay, so on shot, let's just finish these, I suppose. So I don't have to write it 3 times. And here, let's send an event. To a game object, the game manager, the ammo, to update text. Now, eventually, I think normally I'd rather use variables and then make this thing a little more dynamic. But for now, it's fine for what we're doing. So, like I said, if I shoot that, we should have. So we shot. We told them update text. Oh yeah, we're not actually subtracting any normal ammo. You could always add that in so you can see it. Let's go homing. And I don't actually have to aim it, but let's fire. There we go, we fired one. Now let's fire another one. And if I try to fire another one now, oh, it's still going. So that we need to fix, right? Because he's still getting, so this one's preventing it, but this guy's still going to run through his stuff. So what we need to do is I'm going to actually just put a little thing over here. Just a small little bool saying can fire. And we're going to start it off as true because we're starting off with the normal ammo. So if we come over here, set bool value, can fire to true. Copy. And we're going to make another little FSM. We're going to paste it in here and say it's false. And if we have none, maybe we should just default this up here instead. Yeah, if we have none, we should just go like this. Okay, this is a better idea. Let's get rid of the bool. Can fire. Let's get rid of that. And instead, in this guy, in our ammo, when it updates, finish, let's do this instead. Int compare. So if expander is 0, if it's greater, skip. Okay, so we have 0 and we have skip. Now copy that. And this one will be for the homing. So if he's skip, just go here. If this guy's a skip, come down here. But if this one's a 0, so if the expander is 0, we want this guy, this button, we're going to set property interactable to false. And then he will finish and go to this guy. And this guy, if it is 0, he'll finish and go here. But in this one, and this is our homing, he will now go put that in the wrong one. Needs to go in here. Interactable to false. Okay, and then the other thing is I'm going to go to these guys. And I'll just fade them down a bit. Okay, so those will fade, so you can't select them. Once they're 0, you can't select them. But once they're 0, the other thing we need to do is we need to say, hey, you may not be able to select it, but we don't want to shoot it if it's 0. So we're going to add right here a new FSM, and we're going to call this one 0. And he's going to go right on the same place as the start. So if this guy, our ammo, if this is hit or this is hit, hey, where's our, whoops, I totally messed that up, didn't I? If it's less, we might as well go 0 just in case. I mean, we shouldn't come into that situation, but whatever. So we need a send event to our SlingShot to the ammo type to 0. And just copy that and paste it here. There we go. So now we're on default of normal, and if I say go homing, I fire them, we fired one, and I fire another one, see how he's now faded, and I can't, well, see now it's just firing normal shots, right? Perfect. I should almost subtract those just so we can see it, but if I select that one, he's doing those. Oh, no, he's doing the normal bullet. Okay. So let's quickly just go into this guy. And I am going to do the same thing here just for argument's sake. Do the normal. So we want in our game manager ammo, we need to not just check these, well we want to disable those if they're 0s, but we only want to send this 0 event if we're using this current one. Okay, so what we need to do there is, there's going to be a lot of talking back and forth. So we're going to have another event, and it's going to be actually right above this stuff. I want to call them current. And the current is also going to get event data, string data, okay. So ultimately when we're over here, because he is going to create it, so he's created the stuff, so we're already getting the name, we're already getting the type. So here we send that Actually, we can probably just branch off of that one. Set event data, string data, the type, move that up here. Alright, let's go into here. So if we take him and stick him over here, but put him way at the top, get rid of that. Okay, so now we do this, right? So it's doing its thing. So at the end, what we want to do is, if the current type is, okay, let me think about that. So we have our current ammo, so what we're currently using, and if the current expanded the string current ammo type is that guy. Expander homing normal. So I think the best way to approach this is we have gotten the current ammo. We need to find the corresponding integer that goes with that ammo. So we would need a string switch. I'm actually just going to get the same one as this guy. Yeah, I'm just going to copy him. No, why it doesn't let me do that sometimes. Okay, so copy. And then don't close this guy down. Come over here and paste. Okay, so there we go. Now let's just go to this guy. We don't need to go to that one anymore. We have our own. What? Button array? How did we get a button array? That's not what we clicked on, is it? Apparently it is. Copy that one, go over here and paste that one. There we go. There's the, get rid of that. So if it's a skip, go here, go here. We're not going to do that one. Current ammo type. Now let's get rid of some of these. We don't need those. So now now we know what kind of ammo we're dealing with. So we need a int compare. Right, now obviously we don't need it for this, so I'm just going to leave that one blank. But the expander, I'll take this guy. If expander is equal to 0, then it can be 0 or 0. And if it is 0, then we are going to do this guy. And copy and paste. And this guy is the homing. There. All chaotic. But now we have, so if I say go homing and fire, I lose it, and now I should go back to the normal, and we didn't. So let's find out why. because I never bothered doing that. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. And apparently I have 2 types of zeros in here. Wow, jeez Louise. Alright, so that's got to be the little 0. And, okay. There we go. So, like I said, I fire the normal. There's a normal. I fire a homing. I fire a homing. And I fire, it should be normal again. There's a normal. Right? I go to the expander. And we fire. And we fire. And we fire. And it should be normal again. There we go. Just like that. There we go. Everything is working as intended. Well, that's probably good for this video. We have done lots with the ammo and stuff. I think next we'll do the camera. And then after that, we'll convert it to touch control. So we'll see you in the next one.